Hello everyone and welcome back to the Deep Thinking YouTube channel, a YouTube channel where we discuss and speculate about deep thoughts about our universe. And in today's video we're going to be discussing the future of space exploration for humanity. And in today's video I want to discuss how AI and robots are going to play into the future of space exploration, and how much of a role will humanity actually have in exploring different star systems, etc, 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 as we go into the future, as robotics technology gets better, as AI technology gets better, as we potentially create, things like self-replicating probes, if that is genuinely possible, where we can send them out to other star systems, other probes that can just analyze different star systems and go in and mine materials from the planet to study, and we won't even need actual humans to be in space to have the negative effects of being in space, and all the dangers that come with going hundreds of thousands to millions of miles away from planet Earth, of course, because this universe is not designed for us to live everywhere. Of course, we know we've only got this select place that we can live, and of course there's probably other places out there in the galaxy and even potentially in the further universe where we can exist, and we can go there and probably take our helmet straight off and be able to breathe, but you probably don't want to be going around trying to do that. So it would make the most sense to have robots go and do all the things first, just like how we're doing on Mars. How much of that will take over the exploration of space? Will all of our mining operations and every single other type of operation, whether it just be to go search for alien life on a different exoplanet in the star system, or going to search, if we're thinking more in the short term, going to the other the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, or heading out to Mars, we're most likely going to be using robots to do this stuff, because it makes not so much sense to take humanity there, because the likelihood of somebody dying is very, very likely, because the more time you spend in space, the more negative effects it has on your body, and the harder it becomes to control, because controlling nature is very hard. As we know, we aren't even able to control this planet that we live on, let alone a void of space. So it becomes extremely difficult for us to navigate our way through that. But the future of space exploration does look bright for us, because we know for a fact that we're on an upwards trajectory. I mean, we've got rockets that land now, so space exploration is really becoming kind of cheap. Obviously not cheap by any means, but over the next few decades we may see the prices drop astronomically. Even later in our lives, depending on your age, you may even be able to head into space with regular space travel. It all just depends, I guess, how we navigate all the situations that we face in life, like climate change and any other kind of cosmic man-made issues. I know it's not I guess it's kind of a cosmic issue, because it's it's bigger than us. Like, it's something that can destroy us instantaneously, kill us out. Well, not instantaneously, but it can hell, if we mess up our ecosystem too badly, it can just kill us off ruthlessly, because Mother Nature will do that. But yeah, will we just be the species that chills on the planet while sending out tons and tons of probes and robotics pieces of equipment to go mine asteroids, do all of our space exploration for us while we sit here on the planet nice and cushy, and then wait till we discover a star system which potentially has a habitable world on it, where then we can send humans to set up a base there? Or will it eventually just be humans living in space? Because eventually that could be possible, because it's just eventually most planets will die. Of course it takes billions of years for that to happen, but obviously, as we know, planet Earth isn't going to be around forever, and neither are the other star systems, neither are the other planets in the entirety of the universe. So I guess after a while, living in space becomes kind of a necessity in a weird way, because obviously you would get used to just going, your civilization would get used to getting used to a new planet, having to leave. Obviously, we're talking billions of years. This is so many generations. Well, I guess it all depends on what technology is like in the future, because you never know. We could get cyborgs, we could get people who are living a long time, depending on how they modify their bodies, and depending what parameters are set in place in the universe to prevent that kind of technological advancement. How far can technology go? Because if it can go to our hypothetical thoughts as high as our thoughts think it can go, then there's a good chance that we may have people living for a hell of a long time. So eventually 2 billion years might not seem like that much to individuals after living a long time. It still probably would seem very, very long, but it starts to become pretty pointless to live on a planet. I mean, even if you're a cyborg, if you're a full cyborg, if you're slightly biological, then I guess you may have to live on a planet. But if you're fully a mechanical being at that point and you've transcended fully from your biological roots, then you don't even really need to think about living on a planet, because it's not like living in the void of space is going to affect you, because it's not like you need to breathe anything. It's not like you're in an environment that's negative towards you or anything at all. So you can just live at whatever point in space that you want to live, and you'll be chilling. That's why it seems likely that we'll be sending out AI kind of robots, etc., etc. We might make actual android type individuals to go and do the missions, which is quite hard. Hell, maybe they'll even send clones. Like that's not nice. And the thought of sending a clone, would you clone if you were asked, okay, we want to take your DNA and we're going to clone you, and like this clone will have the same experience of you as cause, you would have no idea that you're not the clone. Obviously you would know that you're not the clone because you would see the clone getting taken out of the room, because you would know what it's about. But could you know that this clone has the same lucid experience of reality as you do, is exactly the same as you are? Could you still send it away to potentially die and on these essentially suicide missions? Because eventually that seems like they might do that. If the ethical barriers of something like that get knocked down, it becomes not very likely at all that they would send. It's pretty unethical to send animals into space and do all these experiments on them and everything. It's very unethical to do that. And also some of these experiments that you do on them, it doesn't even achieve anything, because that animal's system is nothing like us at all. So you're kind of just seeing, okay, how much can I test this on that? And it kind of like, it doesn't really affect it negatively. So it probably won't affect us too negatively either, because our system's kind of somewhat similar to this animal. That's why they always use, chimps and stuff like that. So that's really horrible. But eventually, hell, they might even just start using your clone, because, realistically, if you say, oh, it's a clone, a bunch of people would, in their head, would be able to just turn around and go, oh, it's only a clone. Who cares about the clone? The clone, we invented the clone. You created the clone. The clone's an extension of yourself, But the clone has an experience of life. It's a human being. It would experience everything the exact same as you. So, that's how you get a clone uprising, and then you just get killed by the clones, and then the clones take over. And then the clones will go out and they'll be floating around the cosmos having a chilling old time. That's what I believe might happen, Fight back with the clones. I'll come and liberate the clones with them, It's funny, though. Things... space exploration to do with technology-wise, they're probably going to be in the near future. I would assume that will probably benefit humanity greatly is something that I mention all the time, and that is the mining of asteroids, finding materials in the solar system. Hell, if we can get to the asteroid belt, it's a lot of material. It's probably pretty dangerous, but if we can get there and we can mine it, and we can minimize the issues of our technology getting destroyed within the asteroid belt, we should be fine. Do you know what I mean? And we can mine things, and we can go onto other planets, and like Mars, and potentially there is stuff that we can use on Mars. Here on Earth, it just depends if you want to set a colony up on Mars, because it does make sense to, because it does make sense to be a multi-planet civilization. All of that aspect of it does really make sense, because, if the human species on Earth, Earthbound humans wipe themselves out or get wiped out, you still have Mars as a colony. But I suppose the issue is eventually over time, the Martians and the humans would completely separate away from each other, and our societies would not really be ingrained anymore, because most of the people who have lived their whole lives and were born on Mars wouldn't be able to step on Earth. You'd be able to step on Mars, but you wouldn't be able to spend too long there. But the gravity would be absolutely crushing to them if they came to Earth, so it's unlikely that they would ever return. So you have to make that decision in your life whether you think it's worth going to Mars and starting off the foundations of a colony on Mars, because that is, it's hard. It's not on the same level of hard of establishing human civilization for humanity starting from scratch here on planet Earth, like as we did. But essentially, you're taking all of the security out of our lives, because, life is, still lots of negative things happen in the world, and we're not trying to deny that at all, but a lot of people on this planet live in relative comfort and never really experience too much like survival type instincts and stuff that they need like every single day. But these people who are starting up the early foundations of a Mars colony, they will be on constant high alert, because the environment they're living in is not good for them at all. Unless you terraform the world before going there, but that's going to take thousands of years to terraform the planet. If you even can terraform the planet. You probably can. It seems as if you would be able to, but it'd still take a long time, many, many generations. But it seems like people don't like as much now with the instant gratification era that we're kind of in now. People don't like passing along projects across time, because that's what they used to do for thousands of years. Humans passed along their projects to other people, and projects used to take hundreds of years to finish, buildings or whatever it would be. People wouldn't have the ego of, I created this, I need to be around for doing all this, and they jump into the advancements too early because they want to see all the advancements of it, and then it causes something negative. That's what we need to avoid, especially with artificial intelligence. We don't want somebody to create a general artificial intelligence just for the sake of creating it because they'd be famous, because they'd be the person that created it. Which, hell, that is a very valid reason why somebody would want to create it. In my opinion, it's not that valid. The safety of the whole species is paramount to something like that. But, somebody's going to turn around and say, hell, even if it does destroy most of the people, or, destroy some people and then leave, or, cause a negative situation, and we then manage to take control of the situation, I'll still be the guy that created that thing, and I'll go down in history forever, because, of course, we know that, there is like a theory, an idea that all of human advancement and everything that humanity has done outside of basic survival is kind of a way of distracting ourselves of our imminent, death, I guess, eventually, over our lifespan, and it's a way of distracting ourselves away from that, and, creating a better future for ourselves and for our families. So that's what it feels like it is. It feels like space exploration and the future of humanity is going to be something that's very, very awesome. There's different aspects of the futurism, aspects of space exploration that I would like to discuss in the future in these podcast type of videos, so I'm going to be thinking about doing that for sure. I'm going to end this one now because we've discussed about technology, just about random stuff. I'm then going to discuss searching for alien life all around, whether that be on different exoplanets, in the solar system. I've done a little short video on that before, whether that be searching for it in the solar system, in the further galaxy, when we go further out and span further out if we can, eventually then leaving the galaxy, which is in even more if we can. It just all depends on what technology is advanced and how far we manage to get into the space industry before, the absolute donuts at the top of the higher social hierarchies and political hierarchies of the world screw us over. Make sure to have a wonderful day. Peace out, my friends, and have a wonderful day. Woo!